Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. Hopefully you guys are having a great week and a great day so far. We've had a good week in the market. We've had a lot of good moves during the UK session and a little bit of good activity during the US session yesterday. Today is an interesting one. We've got a couple of kind of specific setups we're going to look at. But just real quick here, quick little look at how the U.S. markets are doing. Not so good. They're pretty flat. There's not been a lot of movement today. You can see that the U.S. dollar is holding pretty steady. The yen pairs are rallying. The yen itself is trading towards weakness, and you can see again that U.S. markets are not doing too fantastic today. News coming up. This will be a bit of a mover. Watch yen pairs. Watch Aussie pairs. The Chinese GDP due out this in the next couple of hours is going to be a bit of a mover. So let's keep our eyes on that. Coming into tomorrow, what we have tonight and tomorrow for the UK and US sessions, we've got retail sales for the pound. That's always a bit of a mover, so keep an eye on that. And of course, we've got the European Economic Summit, and we've got the Philly Fed Index and unemployment numbers, excuse me, for the U.S. tomorrow. So a bit of activity there, a bit of movement. Now, here's what we're looking at on this euro dollar. I'm watching this euro dollar, and it's been, it broke out of our trend line nicely, and it's running up very nicely, and we're finally getting that big continuation. Remember this area here that I was concerned about getting out of this channel. We kept testing and testing and testing, and now we're starting to break out of that channel. And on our monthly chart, we're seeing that we're right nicely into that QE3 rally that we typically see on the euro dollar. QE1, QE2, QE3, and so it's rallying along nicely there. But I do think that the euro dollar is approaching a little bit of weakness. So that being the case, I think we're going to have a nice little opportunity to trade off of these highs right here. So we have our highs that are right around about 131.35 area, right around there. We have a nice little reversal candle in the works. So we're going to see if this high holds. So below 131, let's call it 131.40. Our highest candle right there is about 39. It looks like. So 36 actually. It looks like 36 is our highest point. So let's say that below 131.40 is going to be a trade that I'm going to be looking for. Now we're sitting at 131.25. We're only 15 pips off that. So I like this as a short right here, as a sell to get down below, kind of break out of some of this short-term stuff and start heading back into this trend line and back into these areas. I think we've got about 30 or 40 pips worth of movement down here, and I ultimately like, once again, getting long right here at about 131 or excuse me 130.50. So I want to trade down to this area and then start getting long once again down here with stops below some of this trend line breakout and so on. But want to buy at about 131.50, and I want to sell right about current market price to trade down and kind of fill that gap, and I think we'll get a nice little run there. And again, have your stops just above 131.40. Pound dollar, again, we have retail sales coming out, so that's going to be a bit of a mover. You can see that there's kind of some short-term trend line activity right there, and I think that's going to be worth watching. So what I'm going to keep an eye on is this 161.30, which is about 20 pips away from current market price. If we break this trend line and we break that low, I think we've got some nice little trade potential in there below about 61.30. So I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on that. I'm looking to trade this back towards the 200-day moving average and get a little bit of retracement and pullback there. As far as the 4-hour and daily charts go, you can see that we're kind of nicely in these channels and we're just kind of bouncing around here. And so I think we're due for a little bit of retracement here. We're starting to see some long wicks. We're starting to see some price exhaustion right there. And so that's telling us that at least a little bit of retracement should be in the works. So looking for a break below this and some trades into, again, the 200-day moving average. I still like the euro yen, although the yen pairs have kind of continued higher. We had an initial short trade off of this high, and then we canceled it / got out at about break even because it just kind of, everything kind of kept pushing higher. But I think that we've still got some potential. We did break this high, so that makes it a little more bullish than it was a little bit ago. But you can see that we've got this major high up here, and if we come into a serious double top, which we very likely might be in the works for, then we could see a nice little bounce off that, and that's about 103.85 or so, and we're at about 103.65. So another 20 pips. and I'm going to look for some resistance and just a little bit of, this is a very strong upward movement, and we need to get a little bit of retracement off of this high. So that's what I'm going to be watching for, that 103.85 area. Aussie dollar is getting a little choppy here as well. It's coming off those lows nicely, but it's kind of doing so far what it's been doing the last few months, which is up and down, up and down, up and down. So we're going to see what this Aussie dollar does. It's broken key resistance right here at 103.30. It's currently at about 103, just a little over 103.70. I'd like to see some retracement back down to 103.30 and buy off of this support. Get long off of this support with stops down below this consolidation area here. But I would like to get long right around that 103.30. So again, that's about 40 pips away, but I don't think that's out of the question to see a little bit of retracement back into that area. So that's what I'm going to be looking for over the next 12 hours or so. Quick little look at gold. We have a very nice little high right here, 1752, almost 1753. Above this, gold starts to get pretty bullish and pretty interesting. But below this, we still have some sell pressure. We still have some downward pressure below this. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on gold and getting below this area and staying below that. And that could, kind of keep the pressure on the dollar pairs and pushing those lower. And then last but not least, Aussie yen has rallied like crazy. This thing has just kind of slowly but steadily trickled up with almost no retracement. And it just keeps pushing higher and higher and higher. Same thing as the Aussie dollar, coming off some major support, and it's just coming up into these upper areas. So we're going to see what it does. It's been in a very fairly tight channel. I mean, even though that's about 350 pips top to bottom, but that's been over almost 5 months. So not a lot of trend in this pair, but it is running nicely right now. So we'll see if we start to get a little retracement on that one. No specific entry just yet. And then I'm just watching this pound yen. I'm going to look and see if we get some pullback on this one, but nothing too terribly interesting just yet. Kind of like the euro yen, we have some double triple top kind of areas, some major resistance we're coming up into. So we'll keep an eye on that, but not really looking to get into anything on that one just yet. So I think we've got some good opportunity to short the euro dollar below 131.40. Again, above that, let's buy it. If we break 131.40, then let's be ready to close and reverse our positions and take them back up. And then euro yen, let's watch another 20 pips as we come into that major resistance to see if that doesn't turn around just a little bit. And let's look for some retracement to buy the Aussie dollar on the dip at 103.30. And don't forget the pound dollar. We're looking for a break below 161.30 with coming news and so on. So best of luck, guys. We'll have more details coming out on Twitter, but I think those are going to be some of the better setups over the next several hours. So best of luck. We'll see you in the chat. More details to come.